What are the Miami Dolphins going to do with Tua Tagovailoa this offseason? That will be a major topic of a discussion at next week's NFL Combine, which most people don't realize is not about the draft prospects doing the dog and pony show at the Combine on the field. The NFL Combine is more about free agency, quarterback shopping, trading players, restructuring players, and getting hypothetical deals done for free agency. Joining me is Isaiah Smalls, Miami Herald Dolphins beat reporter, who will actually be there representing us at the NFL Combine. Isaiah, are you looking forward to your what is this, your second trip to Indianapolis?
Technically my second with the Heralds. Yes and no. It's a literally a marathon. Like, people don't understand it. Like, a lot of it, like, of course we have to wake up early in the morning to
do your real job.
Players do the real job, but then there's the after hours activities, right?
The night hours and the after hours are the major events because that's where the information lies.
Exactly. And that goes to maybe 1-2 o'clock sometimes, easily. And
it requires a lot of drinks. Which
I actually have to figure out. I'm gonna put this out there right now. I have to ask our boss to see if I can put some of those on the company card.
Oh, you absolutely can, because can. Okay. It has to.
This is good knowledge to know. I will follow what you have to do.
I recommend to you. I'm not a beer drinker. Mm-hmm. I will drink it. I just won't like it.
Yeah.
You buy a beer, you can nurse that bad boy for like an hour and hold it in your hand, look like you're drinking, and because nobody wants to give information to somebody not drinking.
I will try to grab a beer, but I'm definitely trying to get off of the hard alcohol. So yeah, I might give that up for Lent, hard alcohol. So I might need to, I might.
I saw you last night, right?
Hey, look! At least I'm better than the guy last night who was in the club with the Ash Wednesday joint on. That was too much.
I respected his commitment. Dog, hold on, wait a minute. I mean, you could be in Sodom and Gomorrah, but not represent heathenism. You could be there to spread the good word. You know what I'm saying?
Look, it's one or the other. Either you're gonna get the Ash Wednesday joint and go home, or you can get the Ash Wednesday joint, go home, wash off, and then go to the club. But what you can't do is get the Ash Wednesday joint and go right to the club. That's what you can't do. And the fact that he did that, shame on you, sir. And you know who I'm talking about. I don't know.
I saw. I mean, everybody saw. Everybody saw. On that note, one of the major talking points and discussion points, and I really do believe that it is usually annually the first domino that falls for every NFL team. I mean, even John Eric Sullivan and Hafley say it. The quarterback is the first domino. It's the first piece. You got to have an elite upper echelon quarterback. Clearly, the Dolphins don't have one now, if ever. In Tua Tagovailoa, there is a lot of talk about Tua being on the trade block. Sure. And maybe the Dolphins getting a team that will take the $54 million off their plate if the Dolphins contribute some of the compensation. Sure. I think it's very unlikely that you find a trade partner for Tua unless you're handsomely giving up a upper echelon draft pick to let a team take Tua's contract on their hands. And really, truthfully, I think the Dolphins are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's say they do not find a trade taker, and I don't see one because Indianapolis has options.
It's really
Pittsburgh has options.
Pittsburgh is a no-go, though, because think about that division. You have to play in the cold. Cleveland, Baltimore, and Cincinnati, in addition to playing in your own open-air stadium. That's a no. That's a non-starter if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not even entertaining that remotely. It's really the two options. The two most realistic options are the Colts. To me, I'll go three. You got the Colts, you got the Cardinals if they decide
Mhm.
to go on from Kyler, and then the Vikings. But you can automatically cross out the Vikings because of Brian Flores. So it's really down to these two guys right here.
And why would the Cardinals get rid of Kyler Murray, who I think would probably be viewed as higher, not much higher, but
Yeah.
he's got mobility. Tua doesn't have mobility.
He does have mobility. I
Uh,
mean, look, it just looks like those two sides are, heading towards a divorce. Obviously, they have a new coach in there. New coach is going to ultimately decide what he wants, what he doesn't want. And as I said on the last episode, sometimes it's just easier to start with a clean slate because at this point, you know all of your options, right? You know that you need to go get a quarterback. You know that you need help on the offensive line, X, Y, Z, et cetera, et cetera. But with XYZ quarterback still on the roster, it creates a little bit of confusion towards the future, at least to me.
Not to me, but I'm in the minority. I actually wrote a column in the Miami Herald, which I think people are not paying attention to and really should. And I'm glad I actually have a podcast that can kind of be used to explain it. A lot of people are theorizing that, hey, the Dolphins, they've got 4 options. They can, or really 3 options. They could trade Tua and before June 1st and take all of the cap hit associated with it. Trade Tua, I mean, not cut Tua before June 1st, cut Tua after June 1st, split up the cap hit, trade Tua, or keep Tua. And realistically, I think you really have only 2 options. And let me explain why you only have 2 options. One, you keep him, you don't take a cap hit, and you have him serve as a backup, maybe compete with somebody for the starting spot. That's your option number 1. And that's the cheapest option since you're already going to pay $54 million for it. You trade him. You trade him. You lose $11.1 million. You cut him. You lose $43 million if you cut him before June 1st, or you lose $11.1 million cutting him after June 1st. The reason I will tell you that cutting him before June 1st is not an option, is absolutely not an option, is because there is fundamentally no way, I can't say no way, they could have everybody restructure their contracts on the team, which is extremely unlikely. But financially, you cannot possibly carry a $43 million cap hit. There isn't enough contract salaries, players. Literally, the only way I have hypothetically proposed that you can carry a $43 million cap hit is you cut 5 starters from the team and trade 2 of your top players. Trade Devon Achane, trade Minkah Fitzpatrick, which everybody's expecting to be done. I don't know why this is news because Minkah don't want to be here. Minkah's just not going to tell you he don't want to be here. You have to trade Devon Achane, trade Minkah Fitzpatrick, cut Chubb, cut Austin Jackson, cut Ingold, cut the kicker. What's his
Jason
name?
Sanders.
Cut Jason Sanders. Cut Terrell Dobson. You have to do all of those cuts just to get to baseline, to the zero. And that's before replacing all of those players. Doing that, you can't even afford to sign your rookie class because you have no avenue to create any more money other than restructure Aaron Brewer, other than restructure the linebacker, Jordan Brooks. And those guys want raises, not pay cuts. Okay. It's so I and I explained this in a column because people think that cutting him and let's do what the Denver Broncos did in one season and they cut Russell Westbrook and they just moved on. Oh, we could do that. No, you can't. You can't. You financially cannot. Mm-hmm. Like there are like 30-something players on the team that are making $1 million this year. Mm-hmm. Most of those contracts cannot be restructured because they're cheap young players you have locked up on cheap salaries. And you have touched every guy. We've touched every guy except for Zach Sealer, who you cannot create any cap space from because his base salary is like $1 million. You've already taken and borrowed and stolen and voided and restructured everything you could. There is no more contracts left. So thinking that you can cut him and eat a $43 million cap hit, which is just dumb, and get to trade everybody that's good, cut 5 starters. You already need help at just about every position, but maybe defensive tackle and defensive tackle. Is that it? If we cut everybody, I think. Oh, running back. No, but we just traded Devon Achane to get rid of Tua. So you only have so many draft picks, and you can't even afford to sign your draft class because you don't have any cap space. So you could only add free agents for the minimum salary because only the 51 count. So even a quarterback that you have desires to get, who I saw at some ridiculous $35 million price range, which I think is just completely
Willis?
Yeah,
$35 million.
It's dumb. Don't listen to anybody out there talking because you're absolutely insane. Like if you think he's going to get maybe $35 million in hypothetical money, like if $35 million over 3 years comes out to
just under 12.
No. 35 million for a 3-year deal comes out to like $105 million. 3-year, $105 million. You can, in fake money, you can probably make
That's
that.
what agents want reported, the fake money, right? Because it makes them look better.
Yes, exactly. In real money, it'll be like $30 million in guaranteed money. But
that's not bad.
Let's be real about it. I'm not. I think a team that pays Malik Willis more than $15 million a year for a very, 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 very small sample size would be a really dumb team. And you can say whatever you want about what he's going to be and what he's going to do. Tell me the last come-up quarterback who left his team as a free agent to get a starting job for big money that actually panned out for his team. Not a player traded, but a player who was acquired as a free agent, who was given a starting opportunity, who actually played well. Started as a backup and finally got the call up. I think Matt Hasselbeck is the last. I've looked it up. Matt Hasselbeck is the last one that actually did it.
I was gonna say, would Jimmy Garoppolo go traded?
He got traded for, yeah. And Nick Foles had some levels of.
Nick Foles had some success. He definitely got a Super Bowl MVP.
No. He had success only with the Philadelphia Eagles. He never had success at any one of his other stops. Arizona paid for him, cut him 2 years. Cut him 2 years later. He went back to Philadelphia. Then he got another massive deal from Jacksonville, who cut him a year later. So trust me, all these come-up artists, the call-up backup quarterback, Jay Fiedler and Matt Hasselbeck, that is the success stories.
Kurt Warner doesn't qualify in that?
I don't think he does because Kurt Warner came out of nowhere. He had bounced around the league for a while, and then when he got his you can argue that, but he wasn't signed to a big money deal. I'm talking about the guys who were signed to a big money deal as backups.
Okay.
That like just blossom into something good.
Yeah. That's different. Yeah, that's different. Okay, that works.
Like Matt Hasselbeck is actually literally the last, and that was in 2012 or something like that. It's yeah.
That was 2012. That was like early 2000s. Talking about Matt Hasselbeck, like Seahawks Matt Hasselbeck.
Who?
Seahawks Matt Hasselbeck?
Yeah.
I thought that was.
Yeah, it might have been. It might have been.
That's like mid to early 2000s.
Yeah,
because that was the year that they played with Sean Alexander, that they played the Steelers in the Super Bowl, and that was in Detroit. That was Super Bowl. No, I don't remember. But yeah.
It could be 2008. I might be mixing up my years for another quarterback. I've looked at it. Kevin Cobb. I can name you all the backups who got big money deals, and all tanked. Matt Castle, Jimmy Garoppolo, they had a relative level of success, but both of those guys were traded for and then got their big deal. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But the point that I'm trying to make is, okay, everybody needs to let's take his cut and take it all in 2026 off the table, because it's not fun. It's not possible. It can't be done. And so leaving you the only option of making him a June 1st cut, which means you carry him till June 1st, which, it is what it is. Or you could trade him and you take on an $11 million cap hit and somebody else takes your contract. But I ask you again, Isaiah Smalls, why would somebody take that bad contract from you?
There's no reason to. The only thing that Tua has going for him, right, is that the free agent quarterback class is very weak, as is the draft. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's kind of in a situation where the other viable options are weak. And at the very least, as a GM, you could justify it by saying, we believe we can turn him around. We're going to put him in our health program, get him right there. And we have, we're going to play in a dome. He is not going to have to travel to New England, New York.
He's still going to have to play outside at some point.
He's going to have to play outside at some point, but those games are going to be few and far between. Hopefully they're in environments. Again, I'm looking at the Colts. Hopefully they'll be in environments. Look, Jacksonville's outside, but Jacksonville, depending on when you play, it could be just as hot here as it is there. I went to a Jacksonville Jaguars game in September, October, like 2023, and it was sweltering. Like it was bad. My girlfriend at the time couldn't even deal. She was like, "Yeah, I gotta go inside," and she was from Miami, so it was bad. But what are the other? Texans is dome, and Titans is outside. But depending on
that was one of his that was a rainy, cold game that sits as a very big black eye, right up there with the Cleveland black eye, right up there with the Pittsburgh black eye.
Game was one of the worst games that I've ever seen from a quarterback. That was by far the worst game. Actually, no, second worst, because Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Cleveland, the year before, 2024, that was the worst game I've ever seen from a quarterback. Like, oh my God.
But here's the thing. Let's just say hypothetically, the Indianapolis Colts have a desire for Tua. Mm-hmm. They got, they're like, why not? Yeah. Dolphins will carry $30 million of the salary. We pay Tua 24. We probably get a draft pick. Let's just say hypothetically, they consider it. Why would you, if you're Indianapolis, why would you do that over Kirk Cousins, who is going to be available this offseason?
Kirk Cousins is old.
Yeah, but
he's old.
He's old.
The Kirk Cousins that I saw.
So hold on. Answer the question. You're picking Kirk Cousins over Tua? I mean, you're picking Tua over Kirk Cousins?
That's not what you told me to do. You told me to make the argument for Tua. Now you're asking two different questions. Let me make my argument first, and then I'll answer that question. Kirk Cousins is a lot older. If you watch the tape of him against the Dolphins, he looked terrible, to be honest. And who looked better in that game? Tua.
That was when Tua had an arm, though. Tua had like something left. To be fair.
I think he had the same amount of arm there than he did in Pittsburgh, because that was like a couple weeks later. The only difference was what? The cold air. You got to be able to drive the ball in the cold air.
That's fair.
He had the same small amount of arm, just the environments were different.
True.
Tua, you put him in the right. First of all, Tua's job is going to be a lot easier. I don't want to say a lot easier, but it'll be in similar easiness to it was in Miami, in the sense that, like, you have a good running back, right? You have a bigger target at receiver. Michael Pittman Jr. is huge. He is.
I don't think he's that dope, though. Personally, I don't think he's dope. I don't think he's that dope.
He's okay. I think he might not be a top 15 receiver, but I can.
I don't want an okay receiver. I'm not to say that we got Jalen Waddle, who is an okay receiver. It's
Jalen Waddle's better than okay.
Is he? You sure?
He's above average. He's above average.
Okay.
If we're talking exceptional, above average, average, below average, terrible.
I mean, Pittman is above average.
Who?
Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman is above average. Yeah, I agree. But Pittman is also a bigger target. So that you leave a little bit for a quarterback. Obviously, Tua's his calling card was accuracy, but now it's that ball can look a little wobbly, right? But it helps to have a big target. And you know who was also a big target? Tyler Warren. So again, you have two big targets. You have the deep threat in Alec Pierce on that team. A much better I'll say a much better offensive line. But
you're avoiding the question. If you're Indianapolis, who are you picking, Tua or Kirk Cousins?
What's Kirk Cousins' price tag? What does he want?
Make it the same price tag, 25. I'm paying $25 million for both players.
I gotta go Tua. I have to.
You'll go Tua, okay?
Because at the end of the day, it's a rental. Both guys are going to be rentals. Why? Because you're a placeholder for Daniel Jones.
So why wouldn't I go with the older, more experienced, more established rental than the younger one when I don't have when he doesn't have a future with me? Really, I mean,
one, if you can resurrect Tua in some way, shape, or form, you will be heralded very well. Like you will.
You do realize that coach and that GM is on the hot seat, right?
That's true. That's very true. If
you don't resurrect him, you're basically signing your death warrant. You really gonna take that chance on Tua? Your job on the line, and you gonna pick Tua over Kirk Cousins?
Yeah,
I'm just asking you, like, your job is on the line.
I'd rather have neither if my job is on the line.
I mean, if you had, I told you have to make a choice. Your job is on the line. You're picking Kirk Cousins over Tua. I mean, you're picking Tua over Kirk Cousins. Okay, thank you. I appreciate the honesty. No. Kyler Murray and Tua, both $25 million.
Kyler. But outside of Kirk Cousins, I don't think there's. Hold on, let me look at the free agent QB class 26.
Yeah, this is not much now, but a lot of people gonna get cut. Geno Smith, I give you another one. $25 million a pop. Geno Smith or Tua?
Tua. Got to go Tua.
Over Geno Smith.
You threw more interceptions last year.
Huh?
You threw more interceptions last year.
Okay, I present this to you again in a situation where my job is on the line. I gotta pick one quarterback that will actually.
Tua. I'm gonna go Tua.
Okay, all right. I respect it. Shedeur Sanders, who I think is going to be on the trade block, or Tua.
And is it still similar situation where I have to? I'm gonna sell tickets. I want to sell tickets. Shedeur Sanders.
Okay, and Shedeur's cheaper. I don't even know if he's a million. He's at $1 million a year.
He's cheaper. Sell tickets. Yeah, Shedeur.
Deshaun Watson, who I don't think he's going to be able to be moved, or Tua.
I mean, respectfully, like Tua. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't touch that man with a 10-foot pole.
Why?
You know why. You know why. You know what? I want no parts. No parts. Because I don't even know. Because I saw something about the last couple cases getting thrown out, right? And I don't even want to focus on that. I'm just focused on you know how rare it is for you to pop your Achilles twice.
Okay.
I'm not even like that guy in the sense that I'm super oh, you gotta watch the signs, but there is something called football karma. There is 100%. It catches up with the best of us. So I don't know what happened. I'm not gonna speculate, but there's two Achilles, and let's be honest, you're not the same player the first year. So that means I'm gonna have to keep you for 2 years.
I believe that Baker Mayfield will be putting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a difficult position because he can execute a shakedown. If he can't get a new contract, might demand a trade. Would you pick trading for Baker Mayfield over Tua?
10 times out of 10.
Okay.
I've always been
even though Baker Mayfield went the second half of the season.
He was hurt. He was hurt, and he didn't have his star receivers. Yeah, definitely Baker. Definitely Baker.
Okay. So, but my point is, if we were going to hypothetically make this desirable to trade Tua, like say throw in a 4th round pick and say cover $30 million of the salary, a team like the Indianapolis Colts, they kind of got better options out there that give you, and I disagree with you. I'd actually pick Geno Smith over Tua because Geno Smith gives you athleticism. He gives you a better arm. He's older. I'm not a Geno Smith fan. And I'm a Tua fan. But the difference is I have absolutely no guarantee that Tua is going to show up with an arm that is an NFL caliber arm. And even if he did, I have no guarantee that it's going to last through December. And even if it did, I have no guarantee that it can play in cold weather games.
And even if he can, you have no guarantee that he'll stay healthy.
And even if he can, I have no guarantee. There's a whole lot of even ifs.
I hear you. You're right.
Where Geno Smith has probably made enough money in his career, but I'm pretty sure he'd be motivated to at least close out the chapter respectfully, do something decent. And I didn't even throw in the Mac Jones trade. I didn't even throw in the Will Levis trade.
Isn't being traded.
He's being traded. Don't believe everything you hear. He's being traded. Don't believe everything you hear.
And what's the second name you said?
Will Levis from Tennessee, former starter. Yeah. Will Levis sat out all last season to get healthy, and Will Levis is gonna be on the trade block, big dog. So is
This isn't good. Talking about the mayo man, the dude who puts mayo in his coffee.
That's disgusting. But
exactly.
Yes.
I don't want to touch.
Don't be judging a quarterback because he put mayo in his coffee.
No. Certain things, if these GMs and owners can want to hire someone that looks like them because they feel more comfortable around them, when I run my organization, I can have certain things that I say no. And you putting mayo in your coffee is one of them things. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm okay.
You've never even tried it. Yeah, not that I would, but
I was about to say, you know what? If you're really about that, we can fix that real quick. I'll buy a nice thing of mayo next time we go into the office, and we can put a nice healthy dollop.
I'm good.
You can see how that tastes.
I don't eat mayo, and 2, I don't drink coffee. So
okay, so what we even talk about?
Will Levis has a cannon of an arm. Somebody is going to think I could do the Sam Darnold turnaround, transformation, put him in the right system with the right coaches. And
there's only a handful of guys that are willing to, like Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. Those are the only 2 guys that I trust in that regard, that I believe could do that. Anybody else? There's nobody else.
Mike McDaniel did it.
And Mike McDaniel, yes. But again, like these are all guys who are technically spoken for when it comes to quarterbacks.
Okay, that's fair. But
unless you trade for Will Levis, and if you're McVay, right, trade for Will Levis and he's comfortable around the bench until the staff.
No, he needs Will Levis can develop and learn, and I mean the guy's got a cannon for an arm now. Let's not deny that when he was coming out in the draft process, everybody was loving the fact that he could throw the ball 60 yards standing.
Is it accurate? Can you create?
I mean, we could say anything about Sam Darnold and it would apply. And look at what he's done. Not to say that, and that head coach in Minnesota, he can turn around a quarterback as well. Even though, JJ McCarthy is not turning out.
I was about to say JJ. That was just a bad choice, though. I didn't see that. I didn't know why they picked JJ McCarthy. I think everyone gets caught up with the Michigan next Tom Brady thing. Like it's just that's what I heard in relation to
There
him.
is no next Tom Brady. Sorry.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. That's Tom Brady's a certain type of psychopath that like only comes about once in a generation. Kobe was that way. Like when you have that sort of brain where you like study the game in a certain way, that's not no amount of talent can make up for what Tom Brady does mentally. No thank you.
I'm not arguing against you. But a lot of teams, maybe Atlanta, Arizona, Indianapolis, Kansas City, who might have to go at least the first half of the season without Patrick Mahomes, the Browns, who I hear could be in the Malik Willis bidding.
Why would you want to go again? Why would you want to go? At that point, you might as well come here.
Who?
Malik Willis. Like if you want to go, if you're not trying to win, you might as well come to Miami. At least be around people you're familiar with.
I don't know what I have no idea what I don't speak to the young man. I don't know him. I don't know his agent. I'm good. Like if he comes here, and I say this, and I said this before on this podcast, I say it till the end of time. They've seen him way more. They watch a game a day with Malik Willis. Yeah. And if they say that's the guy and we're going to give $35 million a year to him, which I think is just ridiculous, unrealistic. Don't even believe that. I think the most he'll walk away with is $30 million guaranteed, which is what Justin Fields got. If they say that we doing this, more power to you. And nobody cares how you get your quarterback if you get your quarterback. But I will say this. You only get to pick two, Playboy. Like Playboys. You only get to pick two. If this is one of your two, all right. And it will count. And we going to see. And the last thing you want is you don't want to start your tenure with paying a guy big money and then him flaming out.
Sounds very familiar.
The block gonna get hot. Like
very familiar. It would be a very Dolphins thing for that to happen. I'm not gonna lie, unfortunately.
I mean, we under a new regime. Let's think differently. Think positively.
You're right. Let me think positive.
Let's think positive. Listen, they come from a Green Bay organization that believes in drafting. That the core component of a Green Bay organization is we draft and develop players, and we draft quarterbacks every year. Every other year, we consistently have a quarterback in the chamber, and it's funny that we bring that up because I'm writing a column now for the Miami Herald. This is all pubbing my stuff, and I'm in the finishing stages. But I'm going to ask you this question, Isaiah, and I want you to answer it honestly. What lessons do you think the Dolphins learned from giving Tua the market is the market contract?
Don't let your eyes fool you. Like believe what you see. Believe what you see, right? And to me, that's and let me.
He showed me. I saw a Pro Bowl season. My eyes showed me. Hold on. I saw Pro Bowl season, and the year before, I saw a quarterback lead the league in what is it? A passer rating.
How many games he played that year?
Like 12.
Where was he in the playoffs?
He didn't play because he had a concussion.
How many games before that?
I don't know.
Okay. How many? Okay, you're making my point for me. You gotta believe what you see. You can't just be too caught up in the most recent product, right?
Okay.
And I'm a firm believer of the phrase "you're only as good as your last outing," right? Yeah. His last outing was great, but to me, the injury history was too significant to overlook, and I don't think that they took that into account. There's no way. We talked a little bit about this last night. They
had to because there's an injury guarantee in there. There's an injury insurance in there, so they had to factor it in. Now, what that was it a good deal? No, but here's the lesson that you should have taken from it.
Okay.
Make players earn their compensation because they're going to be in the exact same position with Devon Achane. He had one good year. You technically have him locked up for 2 years at $20 million.
He had a good year. You're right. Okay. You don't think he had a good year the year before last?
It was okay, just short of 1,300 yards, but he wasn't a 1,000-yard rusher. He was good, but he wasn't the dynamic Pro Bowl weapon that he was. He's expecting me to pay him like he's a Pro Bowl dynamic, game-changing difference maker. We've seen that probably 2 years. I'm going to be his rookie year. I mean, understand, I'm not slighting Devon Achane because he set an NFL record for yards per carry in his rookie year out the gate. Second year, he did 1,300 yards, led the team in, I think, receptions or something like that.
Led the team in receptions the past 2 years.
Yeah. And while I don't like my backs catching 90 passes a game, 90 passes a season, last year he did what he did running. However, technically, when I put his $5.4 million salary this year and a franchise tag worth $14 million next year together, I got him locked up for 2 years, $20 million. Why am I giving him? I would give him $30 million guaranteed, $50 million fake deal, but why do I have to? Like, you didn't have to give Tua a deal. You could have had him locked up for 2 years at roughly $60 million. You could move on right now without any massive cap space, but you chose to, and it's important that you do handsomely reward them. Tua was going to set you back if he didn't participate in that offseason program. So I understand the circumstances that you were in, but you didn't have to do the deal. You didn't have to. He would have been forced to play. Now, would I have been fired sooner? Probably. But, because if you start slow in 2024, which they did.
Well, that happened regardless. So.
Yeah, it happened regardless. But, you had at least had an excuse 2024. If you roll out Tua after not participating in all the training camp, not participating in all the exhibition season, and then just roll him out as a starter week one, it's going to take him like 6 games to get into a flow. Maybe he suffers that concussion. Maybe he sits out 4 or 5 games, and then he comes back, and it's still a slow progression, slow burn. Yeah, but technically, we wouldn't have to franchise tag him the next year because who's employing an injury-prone quarterback? Who's giving him big money?
But that should have been I don't know. I feel like you knew he was injury-prone before you signed him, and then you signed him as if he wasn't injury-prone, on par with guys that whether we can discuss whether or not they're better than
Trevor Lawrence wasn't worth the money he got the year
exactly before. But the thing with the biggest difference was Trevor Lawrence been available, like he has, right? He has, and I think the best ability is availability. So
Tua was available last year, most of the year.
He just sucked. You're right. He just sucked.
Trevor Lawrence sucked the year before. He turned it around. Wow.
Yes, but that was when he got a good coach. Like he got a guy in Liam Cohen. Like Tua had his guy in Mike McDaniel and made it work for a couple years. And
yeah. Then the arm died on him. Let the man live. Listen.
What was the excuse for 2024?
He was injured ish. Yeah.
I feel like
he was injured. He missed the second. Yeah, he missed a lot of games. Concussion and then the hip injury.
But to me, that's the issue. It's always injured-ish. When you start coming up with too many excuses for these guys, it's like, all right, maybe it's time to cut bait.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that it's time to cut bait. I really don't care what they do because realistically, if Tua stays here, all he's going to do is take a beating. He could throw for 300 yards every single game, and the one moment he actually doesn't deliver is like, bench that guy. He's a bum. So it doesn't matter. I don't, this franchise, the fan base is done with him. But as I point out, yeah, you might have to eat that contract for a year, big dog. You're like, huh?
It's cheaper to keep him.
It is. But nobody likes quarterbacks to compete. I also point out that the second lesson you should have learned from that Tua contract is always have competition. Tua had Mike White and Skylar Thompson is his backup. They both look like booty cheeks all offseason and all training camp. They were between a rock and a hard place. If you had signed Jimmy Garoppolo that offseason, do you think Tua could force your hand like he did? He seemingly did. Now, I know allegedly Mike McDaniel and Jimmy Garoppolo don't have a good relationship, which is why Jimmy never considered coming here ever. But like, you could have given yourself a better option, better backup. And I know they tried, because they've told me they tried and nobody wanted to sign here, and everybody's price just escalated out of their price range. But you could have drafted a quarterback that year. And if Tua sat out the year, you could have drafted a quarterback earlier. If Tua sat out the year, you could have said, we're going to play the young player. All right, Tua, appreciate you. Enjoy the bench. You want to sit out all the training camp? Enjoy the bench, my dog. And he would have been in a position where he needs to prove himself. So he clearly would have backed down from that stance. So as a result, we are where we are because you fear quarterback competition. And that's not this regime or the last regime. That's every regime that's been here for the Dolphins. We can name the quarterback competitions since Dan Marino on one hand. And that's 25 years, one hand. Yeah. They do not allow quarterbacks to compete. So hopefully you learned your lesson from that. John Eric Sullivan has consistently said, I've heard it all before though. We consistently said everybody's going to compete. We're a quarterback. We're going to add to the quarterback room. Everybody's going to compete. Blah 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 blah. I've heard it all before. But I've seen 1 week of quarterback competition, and that was 2012 when when David Garrard got hurt, and Ryan Tannehill and Matt Moore competed for 1 week before they threw Matt Moore out into the game in a hailstorm, and was basically like, yeah, it was a hailstorm. When he entered the game, it was hailing in Tennessee. Hail was like falling down, and that was his quarter. And then they were like, we decided Ryan Tannehill's our starter. I mean, the deck was stacked in his favor anyway. He was a first-round pick. Yeah. But I would argue to you, and probably most of the defensive players would argue to you, Matt Moore was a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. They just never wanted to coach him. Oh, yeah, no question. Matt Moore was a gunslinger. He was the MVP of the team in 2011 after turning around the season from 0-7 to 6-9. And then he actually, when Tannehill got hurt, he led the team to the playoffs, winning two of the three final games. Like, Matt Moore was a baller. He was a gunslinger, but Adam Gase never wanted to coach him because Adam Gase wanted to coach like he's playing Madden, where he calls the plays and you do exactly what I say you do. And Matt Moore was a gunslinger that improvised and changed routes at the line of scrimmage and played a two-man game with his receivers. And Matt Moore was either going to blow you out or he was going to get blown out. There was no in between. Like, there was literally no in between. He was going to blow you out or he was going to get blown out. And I think he won more games than he lost. But, history is history. On that note, we will be back next week. Isaiah will be in Indianapolis. We will figure out when best the head coach is talking or the GM is talking.
Both, actually. Both of them are.
Both. Okay. Both will be talking on Wednesday. Clearly. Tuesday. Clearly, we will be back Tuesday to wrap up what is said, which will be much of nothing, but hopefully there'll be some nuggets inside there. And we will be here to break it all down on Dolphins in Depth.